Let's go!
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Mario, episode 12. I'm Drew Agnew, and joining me, as always, is my best friend, Bryce DeWitt.
Best friend status.
Yes.
Best friend.
How's it make you feel?
Oh, pretty precious.
No, that's great, mate.
I feel like a diamond.
Now, Bryce, we're on episode 12, so that means we're old enough to drink.
At 12?
At 12. Well, you see the kids around, they're getting around with their whiskey and their...
Oh, yeah, you know, a couple of years' time, kids will be drinking at 8.
Yeah, the Captain Morgans, you know.
Yeah.
It's all good stuff.
Their cruisers will upgrade to Captain Morgans.
Wow. The harder kids than I ever was.
That's a bit of a jump, but...
That is a bit of a jump.
Whatever.
So, Bryce, we're talking about our favourite video game soundtracks today.
Yep, I got a couple of things to talk about prior, I think, don't we?
Nah, not really.
Not really?
Nah.
Just going to go into the soundtrack?
Yeah, I reckon. We've been talking about what we're going to do. Obviously, our communication's been terrible, but I reckon we might just jump straight into it.
Hey, it's just the day for it.
It's just a day for it, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's a good day to talk about a soundtrack.
So, we'll go... Wow, I am off today. We'll go into a bit of a entry summary type thing here. So we wanted to do this the other week.
Yes.
Thanks, man. We wanted to do this the other week with a guest, but unfortunately couldn't make it, and that sucks. But you know, all's well.
Now stuff him. Doesn't want to come on the show. Don't worry about it.
We're calling you out, dude.
Yeah, we're calling you out, Riley. All right.
But yeah, it's something obviously that we want that drives us to play games as well. You know, if a game doesn't have a good soundtrack, it makes it a lot harder to play, I find.
Especially these days, like, I'm the type of person that, like, downloads a whole soundtrack and listens through the whole thing.
Oh, hell yeah. I pick songs from soundtrack and put them on repeat.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that loves some of the stuff that comes out of video games. So, you know, it's definitely one of the things that I wanted to talk about at some point, and I suppose it just happens that we're going to do it this week. We'll probably preview some of the tracks that we talk about in this episode. So
yeah, you'll be able to hear them as we talk about them, which will be it's a pretty
technologically advanced.
Yes.
No,
I'm just worried about the editing part, but
no, we'll get around to that. They'll more than likely be played lightly in the background. So if you're interested, you can listen to them while we're speaking in your ear holes, and you can check them out via Googling them, I guess.
Yeah. So we'll start with you, Bryce. What is your number one first pick?
Well, I haven't got any mine in particular order.
Actually, what we should do is, it's a Nintendo podcast. Obviously, Mario music is some of the most iconic in video games. Do you have a Mario?
I do have a Mario pick.
Yeah,
I absolutely have a Mario pick. So a lot of people would expect you to pick, you know, Mario Galaxy, something that's orchestrated, stuff like that.
Delicious.
But the most iconic Mario tracks for me are the ones from Super Mario World. They're the ones that get stuck in my head almost consistently. I could play that game to death. I love Super Mario World. And it doesn't matter how much I go back to it or get those songs stuck in my head, they just repeat over and over. I think they're just some of Nintendo's more iconic work. You see it used in a lot of online content as well.
Yes.
You know, it's just one of those things. Whether it be Super Mario 3 music or Super Mario World, they're generally the tracks that come out the most, because obviously the orchestrated music is a bit more harsh on tone nowadays. You know, you use that kind of soundtrack nowadays, and they're usually quick to jump on it. But yeah, what do you think of it though?
I think it's fantastic. Like, all the Mario games, especially in the 8-bit and 16-bit era, they've all got their own distinct like vibes and soundtracks.
Absolutely.
And it's like, you can't talk about video game music without discussing Mario. I feel like, you know, obviously it's the most well-known, one of the most well-known themes in entertainment, period.
Well, absolutely.
Let alone video games. Like, it's just...
I mean, you look at the places that use just the Mario theme for parodies in, like, popular culture, like, media, all that sort of thing. It's just one of those things that pop up nowadays. And even sound bites from Mario make their pop nowadays.
Yeah, just like the 1-up.
Like, the 1-up, the coin, you know, it all makes it pop up in popular culture. Because everybody knows it, and they're just like, ooh, you know. It just makes everything look a little bit more appealing, because that's, you know, that's something that clicks to everybody's ears.
Yeah,
it's like whistling, essentially. somebody whistles, it catches your ears, you're just like, whoa, sort of thing. It's not anything special, I guess, in comparison to the good old Mario coin blink or anything like that, but it's the same sort of vibe that you get from it. I feel that yeah, and the same can be said to the music as it was the sound bites. People love Mario music. I don't think there's anything bad to say about it. I don't think you could ever say Mario music was shit at any point in history. You know, it's most of the time it's cheery when it wants to be. It can be a little bit creepy when it wants to be. It can be scary if it wanted to. You know, look at stuff like Luigi's Mansion music, or Boo's Haunted Mansion in Mario 64, or
yeah,
you know. But it just so happens that I suppose that Super Mario World has one of my favourites.
Yeah. What's one of, like, what are some of your favourite tracks from the game?
From Mario World?
Yeah.
Mainly, right now, if anything is to be playing, it would be the Star Road theme. I like the upbeat tones that Riding Yoshi gives to just about every single map stage. Yeah. Obviously,
and that's the thing with the soundtrack. Like, you know when you're riding Yoshi just from the sound of it.
Oh yeah, because it's got
so
that
good.
little extra bongo beat to it.
Yeah,
it's great. And the Haunted House theme, Haunted Ship theme is also in there for me as well, because I think it's one of the more ominous tones from the Mario series.
Yeah, and when you're looking through each door, and like you're lost, and the music just sort of hits at home as well.
Yeah, you're just like, oh god, it's a scary place. I don't like it. Yeah, definitely. I played the game to death in my childhood, and if I could ever get it out of my head, I'd be probably a saner person. But in saying that, yeah, no, absolutely, I enjoyed every moment of Mario World, and I will do so until I hit 90 and die. I don't know, whatever age I decide.
You think you're gonna live to 90?
God knows, probably not. I won't lie to you, probably not. If I'd be lucky to.
Alright.
Morbid tones.
Alright. Can I use that as a segue?
Yeah, you can use that as a segue.
So I was thinking, like, obviously I've got to include a Mario track.
Yep.
And it was so hard for me to decide, is it the original theme? Is it the underground theme? Is it the theme for Peach's Castle and Mario 64? Like, all these games have such iconic music, it's hard to narrow it down. But eventually I narrowed it down to Gusty Garden Galaxy from the first Super Mario Galaxy. And the reason I chose this one is just because of sort of the scope it gives you when you first go into that game. When you first go into that game, that music kicks in, and you just see all like the little levels throughout the world. And I was like, holy shit! This is like, at the time, next gen Mario.
Big thing, massive thing. I do vaguely remember the world you're talking about. The unfortunate part is I don't remember the music, so I'll have to listen to it later. But Mario Galaxy soundtrack in general is definitely one of the best orchestrated soundtracks I've ever had in a video game.
It's crazy how good it is.
I played so much Mario Galaxy 1 that I did not want to play Galaxy 2. I played so much of it, but I enjoyed every moment of it too. And the music was a big contribution to that, because for a while it did get stuck in my head, and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
You know, problems aside of Mario Galaxy 1, the soundtrack was not one of them. Absolutely.
For sure. Like, it's that is one of the soundtracks I listen to again and again and again. I think I literally had it on repeat on my iPod. I just had it in my ears throughout the day at school. I don't know if that makes me a music man or a nerd. Probably a bit of both.
Audio nerd.
No, not an audio nerd.
Audio nerd.
Just a goddamn nerd.
No. I mean, I can't fault you on that, because to be honest, if I could listen to video game tracks more, I probably would. Yeah. It's like I'm one of those people that nowadays is like, I pick up my phone, I've got Spotify, I've got all that stuff there ready to go, and I'll just listen to that. I'll listen to podcasts as well sometimes on occasion, going for a drive or whatever. It's not always on my commute because I don't have the time to listen to a complete podcast.
Yeah.
But when I think of video game music and I'm just like, it gets stuck in my head, and then I'm like, damn, when I get home, that's going straight on the computer so I can listen to it.
Remember on Spotify, there's lots of video game soundtracks actually on Spotify.
Absolutely there is, but when I think of video game soundtracks, generally I will search for them and I will not find them. So I end up listening to stuff like parodies, stuff like that to get my fix.
Metal remixes,
Metal remixes. Anything to curb the itch, I feel, but it still doesn't replicate stuff like Mario Galaxy. Mario Galaxy is, in its raw form, its soundtrack is just beautiful, and it doesn't matter how many times you try to remix that, it's not the same.
Just thinking about it, I can't think of a better soundtrack. Like, I'm sure there are, but that just really captures like the creativity of Nintendo, I feel.
It captures the universe too in a non pun sense, the worlds you're in and stuff like that, the music flows well with them, and they have thematic music for like lava worlds like they did in the past, but now they sound absolutely beautiful with this big orchestrated sound to them, and it absolutely drives it home.
It set the bar for all the other Nintendo games, but took place after it as well.
Oh, to push it up, yeah, absolutely.
Because at that point, Twilight Princess only had like a MIDI soundtrack, which was great, but Mario Galaxy really just brought the bar right up.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it pushed it up big time.
Yeah. Do
you want to read the next one on your list, though?
Next one on my list.
Yes.
Which one would that be, Bryce? The top one?
Yeah, go from the top.
This soundtrack's from a game which really took me by surprise on all fronts, really. Because the reviews came out and it was about... there was a lot of complaining about the controls.
Right.
And I enjoyed the game so much that I actually didn't run into any problems with the controls because I was just invested in the game. And that game is Kid Icarus Uprising on the 3DS. And this game was it was really special to me because it's I'm a big Pit user in Super Smash Bros.
Yeah, but you never really had anything to relate back to.
Yeah, because you go back and play the original Kid Icarus, and obviously there's not much story.
Yeah, and you don't feel Pit from that Pit because it doesn't feel like the same Pit. It's going from something brand new to something old. But it's an old asset. So.
And as I got through the game, I loved the music, and it actually has, since it's by Sakurai, he actually had you can actually listen to the soundtrack in an option in the game. And I found myself just closing the 3DS, putting it in my pocket, putting the headphones in, just listening to it again and again. And one of my favourite songs from that is actually the one from the first boss, which is super... I don't know if you can remember it, Bryce, but it's super energetic.
It's really hard to remember. Because I loved Kid Icarus Uprising, and I spent a lot of time messing with weapon stats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was really good, and I loved Kid Icarus Uprising. I never really got all the complaints about all the controls and stuff, to be honest. It's not that bad.
If I went back to it, I'd probably be like, I haven't bothered using the stylus.
Well, nah, I don't think it was as bad as people say. And Kid Icarus Uprising in general was a really cool game.
Yeah. The story was so good. I was blown away by the story.
Yeah, the story was really good.
I went back to it now, maybe not. I don't know.
But... just there's integral moments in that game that make you go, whoa! Whether it be from Medusa to Hades. It was just one of those games that made the 3DS pop out really early. Maybe not for everyone. Maybe not for everyone, but for people that were I'm interested in seeing more about Pit.
Yeah.
And Palutena and stuff like this. Characters that became more present in Smash Bros. It was a really interesting thing for it to come out, and I played the crap out of it. I think I still have it. Not sure if I do. I hope I do, because I do feel like playing it again at some point. But it is definitely one of the shiners of the 3DS.
Yeah, just like all the themes for the characters from Dark Pit, that was an awesome theme.
Yep.
like Hades. He turned out to be one of my favourite villains because he's just really...
I remember wanting him in Smash Bros. So much.
Yeah, same.
I wanted him in Smash 4.
I voted for him in the vote for the DLC character. I voted for Hades.
Yeah, I wanted him in Smash 4. He was a really well-rounded character. He was kind of like that cocky, sort of like pity boy. You know, he was that cocky, like rich-sounding villain that I love.
The voice acting was great in this game.
Oh, the voice acting was so good,
and they talked all the time. Some people hated that, but
I loved it.
So did I. I liked that, like, you're always getting feedback as you're going through the level.
Oh yeah, so much personality, and like the different gods and stuff like that. You know, Faridi and God, that's one that starts with P. Phosphora? Yeah.
I can't remember.
I think it's Phosphora.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Phosphora. But, you know, just the dialogue from characters like that, like back and forth, and, you know, it was really good. And I really hope we do eventually see an Uprising sequel worthy of the name. I really do, because it was definitely one of my favourites. Oh, maybe on Switch.
Oh, God,
that would be so good.
I love that. Because on Smash Bros, I find myself just playing the Kid Icarus levels just for the music.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that boss fight music, I've actually put like 100% to get it on that level.
Yeah,
you can do that. Yeah, so I always listen to it when I play Smash Bros.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a gem of the 3DS with a really great soundtrack. I remember it being good. I just wish I remembered more of it.
It's been a while.
Well, yeah, especially when you think back to soundtracks, I think the ones that stick with you are the ones that are repetitive.
Yeah, probably like if you're like grinding in a game and it's just like again and again and again. Yeah.
It's those, especially those repetitive themes that stick with you, like an overworld theme or something like that, and that's generally the most you remember of a game, unless it really captures you or it's very simple music. You know, then that's when you start to fall a bit. It's hard to remember much else about Kid Icarus other than da 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 da. You know, for me, because that's the thing that I heard all the time playing Smash Bros and stuff. So when I think of Kid Icarus, that's the first soundtrack that pops in my head.
Actually, I don't know if you put this on yours, but what about Final Destination from Smash Bros Brawl?
You know, I wish I put it on there to some degree.
Because we would have heard that more than any song in our whole lives.
I think putting Smash Bros on there is kind of cheating.
It is cheating, that's why I haven't done it either.
Yeah.
But Final Destination, that is just from Smash Bros.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So maybe that wouldn't be cheating, but...
I love the Final Destination theme. What's the next on yours? Steering me away. Yep. So if this one wasn't obvious already, if you're a frequent listener of the podcast, it's kind of a mashup of two series and then one pick soundtrack of them. Banjo-Kazooie 2E soundtracks. The song I picked though was Treasure Trove Cove. So you won't be able to talk much on this one, so I'm going to spiel about it.
Yeah, I'll pour myself a whiskey.
So I love Grant Kirkhope as a composer. I find a lot of cheer and love in the music that he does. Follow that guy on Twitter; he's a riot. You know, Grant Kirkhope is a really good guy, and I wish to talk to him one day. That'd be so cool. But just the stuff that he put in his N64 games was really good. You know, GoldenEye soundtrack, the Banjo series. You know, he didn't work with. I'm more than sure he didn't work with Conker. Actually, yeah, I'm definitely sure he didn't work with Conker. But just something about Grant's music that sticks with you. And especially in Banjo, there's like those. It doesn't feel like the music thematically changes a hell of a lot, but it's bouncy, it's catchy, and it's something that stuck with me. The reason I chose Treasure Trove Cove is probably because it's one of the levels I spent the most time in. I really love Click Clock Wood as well. Click Clock Wood is an interesting theme because it changes with the seasons. So there's definitely a specialty to it there. But yeah, apart from that, Treasure Trove Cove is a bouncy sort of like musical tropical-esque theme that I absolutely love. And don't you dare jump in the water, otherwise you get Jaws music. And that's not fun.
You get the actual Jaws music?
It's like dun 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 dun
okay,
dun dun.
Yeah.
You get chased by a shark.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. There's some nice stuff in there. Oh, you really need to play it one day. You need to get around to it.
Okay, I'll make sure I put it on my to-do list.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it can be an 8-hour game or it could be a 20-hour game. It depends on how much effort you want to put into it. Hell, it could be a 4-hour game if you don't hunt for all the jiggies and stuff. But
I won't.
You know, when you look at it from that perspective, like it's definitely one of my favorite 3D platformers of its age.
Yeah.
It's got some of the funnest music on the N64, and you know, just there's not a lot other than I could say about it. It's charming. It's charming in its own special way, and the soundtrack is the thing that really adds to it. Anybody that enjoyed Banjo, the soundtrack generally sticks with them. It's something that Grant Kirkhope is really good at, and yeah, there's not much else I can say on the matter. I guess I just really love Banjo and its music.
That's fair enough, because just from what I've heard, I really like to, but I can't speak too much of it because I haven't played it.
Yeah.
I haven't played it properly. I've played it.
You don't have to play Tui, because Tui's a little bit of a slog. It's a good game. Tui's a good game, but it's a little bit of a slog in comparison to the.
What makes it more of a slog?
It's longer, and it feels longer. There's a lot more story context to the side missions and stuff.
Just what you want
in the game, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But being that way, it makes the game a lot heavier. Yeah. So you've got to invest more time into it to get the more out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Banjo is very straightforward. You're focusing on one goal, one mission, and you're good. But everything about it is also fun.
Yep.
It's a tone that doesn't change.
That's good.
Bring Banjo 3 to the Switch, please.
Yeah, that's going to happen. Microsoft's going to bring Banjo. Alright. So my next one is from probably my favourite series, which is the Pokemon series. This was another hard one for me to pick because I've listened to the soundtracks on every single game, every single generation, probably through again and again, from Gen 1 to 7 now. Is it 7?
Yeah,
it's up to 7. Jesus Christ, I haven't listened to 7 much. I'm not a big fan of the new soundtrack, which is sad to say. But anyway, that's something different. I nailed it down. Well, my favourite song from the Pokemon series is the Champion Battle from Gold and Silver, or Heart Gold and Soul Silver, when it was remade. Like, this is such a good song.
It's an excellent pick.
Some nights I just find myself looking at remix after remix after remix on SoundCloud. Just going through again and again.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Like, it just like represents like the hype when you actually get to the final champion.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Because it's also, I'm not sure whether it changed in HDSS, but it's definitely the same theme for Red in GSC.
Yeah, it's the same.
And GSC is my favourite game sort of trio of the series.
Gold, Silver, Crystal.
Yeah. And the Wild Pokemon Battle themes and Gym Leader themes and all that stuff, that all sticks in my head from back then as well. I have a close second favoritism for Gen 5.
Yeah.
I really like Gen 5, whether people hate it or love it. I think it's great. Black 2 and White 2 are personally one of my favorites. And I enjoyed the music from them as well. But more about HDSS. It was definitely a well-deserved upgrade.
Yeah, for sure. It was so good.
Mm-hmm. Heart Gold and Soul Silver are definitely worthy successors to the previous, obvious.
And it's so good that there's an item in the game that actually allows you to have all the old sound effects.
That is one of my favourite features of that game. Because while I do love the music in its new form, I miss the classic music. Like, even just the Kanto Wild Battle theme is so good. Oh, it brings that little nostalgic piece of my mind and just pushes it forward, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
That's the thing, like, when I'm talking about the Pokemon music, it's all so iconic to me. I can, like, pinpoint what generation it's from, what music it is.
Yeah.
Because probably my favourite overall soundtrack probably is just Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, just because that was my first game, and it probably is the most nostalgic to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
God, it's good.
Oh,
Yeah, I was tossing up between this and the Battle Frontier music, like Emerald.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Ruby Sapphire Emerald was really good for it too. You are right in saying that you can pick out a generation's music by listening to it, like initially. Like every generation has their own sort of bounce and vibe to it. But yeah, the most memorable were probably Gen 2 and Gen 3 for me, because those are the ones that I spent the most time with growing up. Yeah. But in saying that, in more recent years, Gen 5 is definitely one of my favourites. It's really hard to see where the Pokemon Company is going and Game Freak are going moving forward with Pokemon, because I can't find too much that's memorable about Sun and Moon that make me want to buy the next purchase.
No, not the guy really. I don't really like the music too much.
I don't really like much about any of it. I'm not sure what it is, but there's a lot to love in maybe Pokemon designs and stuff, I guess, but we didn't really, as somebody who speaks like from looking at a competitively viable standpoint, I guess, there wasn't anything special to bring to the competitive scene except for maybe like Delmines or Toxapex.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot. You know, I felt like we were enjoying it as we were going through it though.
Absolutely, yeah. But that could be just the boisterous, wondrous charm.
That's true.
Of a Pokemon game. But
yeah.
I'm excited to see what they put
I just felt disappointed once I finished it. I'm like, well, I've really got nothing to do.
Yeah, again.
I caught the legendaries. I'm like, well, that's great, but
where's the Battle Frontier, guys? We missed the Battle Frontier. Not like the Battle Tower. We want a literal Battle Frontier from Emerald in every single game.
Yeah, just more shit to earn.
It's just something to do, guys. Just give us the Battle Frontier, please. I don't care if like the climb is like 50 floors for a silver medal than 100 for a gold. I don't care. You know, I do. I just more endgame content in Pokemon, along with more good music.
Well, what's one of your favourite Pokemon tracks?
One of my favourite Pokemon tracks. This is a hard one, actually.
It is a hard one.
This is a hard one because there is a ton of good Pokemon music.
Yeah, just every generation's gym leader battle, every generation's battle music, every generation's trainer battle music. So there's a lot there.
Yeah, when you think about it. But the one thing, okay, I'm gonna lay out the one thing that's popping up in my mind right now. And you might think, why the hell that one? And it's probably just because it's stuck in my mind because I was thinking about it. But the wild Pokemon music from Black 2 White.
Struggling to think of that one. Yeah, but
actually, no.
All of them.
Haha. No, I think I've got the perfect one. Neoplasma theme.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
Cool. Yeah.
Yep. Neoplasma theme was one of my favourite little theme upgrades from Black 2 White too. Yeah. That's one of my favourite conflicts in a Pokemon storyline as well. I felt also that was probably one of the better. I wouldn't call it an end game because you can access it from the middle of the game, but one of the better side game things as well, which was the Pokemon tournament. You could go back and face old gym leaders and their Pokemon, like old champions and their Pokemon.
So that was fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like, that was great. You could go and do that whenever you wanted to, and it's just a bunch of fun. Like, it's one of those things that Pokemon needs more of, but they seem to be putting a lack of in nowadays.
Yeah,
you know, let's.
Well, just since the 3DS games came out, they're just going for like really going for kids instead of.
They are, yeah.
Like they're really targeting kids rather than.
But are kids super enjoying this in comparison to what kids were enjoying back in our day? I'm not sure.
I could tell you. I don't really know many kids who play.
I guess so.
It's mainly.
Well, that's the other thing as well.
People like us, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. When you look at it from that perspective, like. There's more people on YouTube and stuff playing it nowadays, obviously, with the technology that's around. And
yeah, they're all early 20s like us.
yeah, because, you know, it is one of their favourite series and they grow up with it. And I'm sure they've had their little time of, I don't want Pokemon anymore because I'm a cool kid. Yeah. And then they've grown out of that again. They're like, what the fuck am I kidding? I love Pokemon. Always have. I love you. I love you, Pikachu. Please be mine forever. Next one. Okay, so the next one on my list. So I also talk about this game a lot, or games rather. Again, bundled together. I'm going to talk about Xenoblade soundtracks for a while.
Oh yes, go for it, boy.
So again, something else you can't really talk on. Get around to it. What are you doing with your life? What are you doing?
Just like laying in the corner, blinking.
I'm confident you'll get around to it eventually.
Oh, thanks, man.
So, I can mention numerous times about how impressive Xenoblade Chronicles is, and why it bypassed expectations for the Wii in so many different ways that I never thought it would. It's not something it's not something you can really find on the Wii. There's games that did things in their own right better, like, you know, Twilight Princess or Mario Galaxy or Golden Mario Kart. If you're really into that, I suppose it's not the best Mario Kart out of the lot, but they push their own limits and boundaries and stuff like that. But Xenoblade did something I never would have expected for the Wii, and it did something really good for the Wii U as well, no matter how many people didn't pick it up, because unfortunately, you know, Wii U ended up as it did. But not only do I think that both the games have great soundtracks, but I just think that the way that they're used is fantastic as well. It's going to be a bit of a controversial pick on what one I'm focusing on, because a lot of people would be like, go, you know, Xenoblade this track, or, you know, you think of like the boss battle themes and stuff like that from Xenoblade 1, they pop up in Smash Bros. And, you know, that type of thing. But I'm actually aiming towards one of the Xenoblade X themes, because I feel like there are some gems in that soundtrack that I absolutely love, and this one would be the Uncontrollable, which is the theme when you are versing tyrant monsters, which are overworld boss monsters. This theme gets me hyped to kill big monsters. It really does. I would absolutely love to play more of X, and I'm going to. I'll probably stream a lot of it too if you're that interested. Probably not, because a lot of people don't, you know, they don't think of it. But Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is also pretty impressive for the Wii U. Like, just as Xenoblade Chronicles was impressive for the Wii. Like, I love it, and this theme was something that invoked a lot of like drive to kill things that were beyond my skill level. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, hype music. I wanna go and do this, and you know, if it's playing in the background now, you probably understand why to a smaller degree. But the first time you hear the theme, you get introduced to tyrant monsters, and you have to take one down, and you know, it's its own little magical moment. And just coming across a monster, then I'm just like, am I going to be able to defeat that? And then you try your hardest. It's that thing. It's the kind of thing that drives you to push, and you know, make your best effort in trying to take that monster down. Because if you can, you know, you might reap good rewards. Second close on the standard monster theme, which is Black Tar, I guess, but it's not as much theme as it is just sick little rap beats. It's good, but
sick little rap beats. You gotta hear first.
If you ever hear anybody talk about Xenoblade soundtracks again, you're gonna hear about Xenoblade Chronicles more than anything, because Xenoblade Chronicles is an impressive game.
Well, you just showed me before, and I was like, "Oh, I really didn't expect this type of music from this game. I didn't think it would have like songs with lyrics and that. It was awesome.
It's really catchy.
Yeah,
it's really good, and it like." When you see it used in the particular context that it's used as well, you're like, well, shit. This drives me to do the best I can, and take down this monstrous looking enemy with my mech, or on foot, or, you know, whatever.
my wooden sword.
Whatever mode of transportation you're taking at the time, and
jet ski.
And some of the monsters in that game are massive. Like, they're huge, and it's not something I'd ever expect out of the Wii U. Like, this big seamless world. And then we eventually got Zelda, and it proved to be wrong. I was just like, well, cool. But again, the team that worked behind Xenoblade Chronicles X's map was Monolith Soft, which also worked on Breath of the Wild's map.
Yeah.
So it just shows you that Monolith have the capacity to work with whatever hardware they're given and just create an awesome world. And they did it with 2 and now 3 games with obviously helping with Breath of the Wild. They've shown that they can make a big seamless map and make everything like a treasure, and it's really cool. And they're pretty good with music too, to be honest. They have a good way of invoking emotion and stuff like that, which is perfect, and it's probably why it's one of my favourite soundtracks.
Are you very excited for Chronicles 2?
I'm very excited for Chronicles 2.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it. I wouldn't generally say it's like it's the story that always captures me of these games, because X was lacking of one. Like, there was obviously story elements in it, but not as heavy. Chronicles had a story, and it was good but very long. And this one's also going to be very story based, and I hope maybe they work on that aspect a little bit for me, because I feel like it needs to be shortened down to a particular length in comparison to the first. But if it's not, let's just hope it's a good story. I'm sure it'll have amazing music in it.
I'll probably jump in there, to be honest.
Well,
while it's relevant, I can jump in.
Jump in while it's relevant. I still think you should go back and play them.
No, well, I might.
You have to. They're good games.
I'll get the Wii U out and I'll sob when I'm playing it.
I think you'd enjoy X. X is fun. Like, even if you don't go back to Xenoblade Chronicles, because yes, it does feel really outdated now, and I'll admit to that. Like, X is just an amazing piece of landmark to explore, and it makes you go, "Wow, this was on the Wii U," sort of thing. Like, and then you look at Breath of the Wild, and you're just like, well, shows what Monolith Soft is good at.
Monosods.
Monosods, I love you, Monosods. It just shows you what they're good at, and I really hope they continue to make games like that, because even if it takes them a couple of years to release one or something like that, they're absolute marvels. They're really good worlds. And
yeah, just listening to you talk about this game just makes me excited for the second one.
I'm really passionate about it. Yeah. I'll admit to it. Like, it's when people talked about it originally, saying, "Oh, it's a good game" and stuff like that, you think, "Oh yeah, I'll give it a go," sort of thing. And Xenoblade was one of those things that falls under the doesn't really get a lot of attention in the West crowd.
Yes,
but it is goddamn a reason you should buy the Wii. Absolutely.
For Wii Sports and Carnival games for the Wii. That just reminded me. I just want to go over this on Buy Swap and Sell. Whenever I'm always looking for Wii games, DS games, 3DS games, just whatever, right? And it's always selling a Wii, $200, and it's just Wii Fit and all this shit with it. It pisses me off so much. Yeah. Please continue.
Because you want to see quality Wii games, but they hardly come out.
Yeah, no, it's just people say, "What are you doing? You didn't have Brawl, you didn't have Mario Galaxy, you didn't have Zelda."
Yeah,
it's like,
what are you doing?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Please continue, bro.
Please continue,
my son.
I think I was pretty much near the end of it anyway. My spiel about Xenoblade is always the same thing, and you're probably going to hear it multiple times on this show under different circumstances. But
oh god, I'm sure they're looking forward to that. Yep.
Well, I think it's worthy of praise, and if you haven't given it a go, please don't play the 3DS version of Xenoblade Chronicles.
Have you tried it?
I haven't, no, but I've heard it's a mess.
Okay.
If you're going to play it, God, by all means,
But that's the most convenient way to play it.
You can get it on Virtual Console, right? On
Wii
U?
Yeah.
Yeah, play it on Wii U.
I mean, convenient as in put it in your pocket and you can grind it out. And...
Oh, yeah, but it's I don't know, it's not the same. It's impressive that it fits on that kind of tech. That's crazy.
It is. I think they just got it going, but yeah.
Yeah, literally. Literally, by the bare minimum.
And that's the problem you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, that's why you should play it on the Wii U on the Virtual Console. I think it's maybe $27, maybe.
$27, yeah.
But $27 is a worthy purchase.
Yeah, like for a $100 game.
Yeah. It's incredible. And then if you can find decks, because God knows that never shows up anywhere.
There's a fair few EB games in the mount at the moment.
Is there?
Yeah, just because everyone's trying to get in. They must have traded it in to get their Switches and stuff.
Oh.
But as soon as they sell it, yeah.
Yeah, you won't find it anymore.
No,
That's a shame. I'm glad I held onto my copy.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good game.
It's going to be one of those games that's going to be hard to get.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. So, do you have any Zelda games in your collection?
I do, but mine's pretty obvious, I think.
Yeah, it's obvious to me.
Well, your turn first.
It is my turn.
I did my Mario one first, so it's your turn.
Yes, sir. Mine is Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess and the Hyrule Field theme from that game. I found myself going to Hyrule Field and just hanging out there just to listen to the music.
It was your first real Zelda, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that theme.
Yeah.
And I downloaded it and I listened to it on my bloody little tiny iPod back in 2007 or 8 or whatever it was.
All those years ago
and
now.
I listened to it there. That game, like, even though it wasn't orchestrated like Mario Galaxy, it still had a really nice soundtrack.
Just Twilight Princess is one of my favorite Zelda games, I think, because of the tone it has.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, a lot of people praise Majora's Mask for its creepy undertones and its side quests and stuff like that. But
yeah, which it does very well.
I will admit to that. But Twilight Princess offers something that Majora's Mask does not, and that's unlimited time to do these things without no stress.
Yeah,
and that's what Twilight Princess, being as Twilight Princess is, does that really well. Yeah. I feel.
Still remember the desert dungeon, and I took my Wii over to your place.
Oh, but it's grounds.
Yeah, when we were young, and you fell asleep, and I just kept. It took me like most of the night to do this dungeon when I was a kid.
You wanted to go through that.
Yep, and like I remember versing the boss, and you woke up. You're like, what? But yeah, just that one stands out so much to me. Just how creepy that dungeon was.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's definitely... That was the last dungeon I did last time I played the game.
In the HD version.
Version.
I bought the HD version. I'm like, I'm going to want to play it one day. I never even put it in.
You will.
I'll play it. I was like, I'll play it one day. I'll buy it. Get the Wolf Amiibo. I can slap it on my gamepad and get some shit out of it.
You would definitely play it one day.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it is definitely one of the top ways to play the game.
Or what if they port like all these games to Switch?
It'd be so good, but you know they're not going to port all of them.
Just do all of them.
I remember...
I don't want to buy them all, but shit.
Speaking of ports, the only one I can actually recognise that they said was a possibility was the director of Xenoblade, like the Xenoblade series, said, we'll think about porting X to the Switch, and I was like, perfect, do it. Because it's one of those things I'd absolutely love on it, but I would really love to see these things on Switch. But I have a really sinking feeling that Twilight Princess HD was their last attempt at a quick cash pull from the Wii U.
Oh yeah. You know? Well, they got an Australian team to port it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
I can't tell you which one it was, but they got an Australian port house to go and port it over. So,
wow,
this wasn't an internal decision. This was just, oh yeah, we'll do this because we've got nothing else.
Yep.
Because this was early 2016, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so that year was shocking to be a Nintendo fan.
It was.
And that's why 2016 I didn't enjoy it that much, because it just wasn't that big Nintendo game. Yeah. I think it was Star Fox.
I'm too busy working on this.
Yeah.
I'm too busy working on the Switch. So they didn't really put much effort and time into the Wii U, which kind of felt like a sinking feeling, especially since we didn't get news about the Switch until the end of the year.
Yeah.
That was a big thing.
It's like they just shut up their doors and walked away. Yeah.
But we had stuff like Twilight Princess to tide us over if you were going to play it, sort of thing.
Yeah, unless you just wanted to buy it and not play it. I'm sure Nintendo doesn't give a shit.
No, as long as they got money.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sure that they want people to enjoy their games no matter what. But you know.
Miyamoto's crying. I didn't actually play
Miyamoto, he's just like crying his tears with that like half smile still on his face that he's always got going.
Yeah.
But yeah, Twilight Princess is definitely one.
I really want to just put the Legend of Zelda theme on there, but I felt I was cheating just doing the theme song.
Yeah,
it's such a good theme song. It's such an epic theme song.
Makes you feel like going on a quest.
Yeah,
absolutely does.
Yeah, just like the startup sound in Pokemon Red and Blue.
Yeah,
with like Gengar and what's his face versing each other.
All of those games do, though. You know, they always give you a sense of something. You're like, damn, I want to go on this awesome adventure. Or, you know, Super Mario Bros. You're like, hey, I'm gonna go jump and hit some blocks and squash some Goombas.
I want some monsters in my balls.
I want some pocket monsters in me balls.
Alright, so yours is going to be obviously Ocarina of Time.
Actually, no, it's not.
Oh!
Shit, son, you got duped.
I don't even know you.
You just got duped.
Alright, so what is it?
So,
Dupehead.
This one I love lately because I've become more
Flamboyant.
sensitive to very somber music.
Oh.
I like just a very easy soundtrack, and that would be Breath of the Wild. So even just like getting those little tones when you're like riding your horse, or
Yes.
traveling through a village or something like that, to the intensity of like getting like this talus music out of nowhere when you don't know there's a talus around, but it just pops up behind you and you're like, where's this talus? And then it hits you in the back of the head with a rock. It's got a very varied soundtrack, and there's some really nice soft music throughout the game that I absolutely love to chill to nowadays.
It's like you don't notice it, but it's just there and it creates the atmosphere within the world.
Absolutely.
As someone who got the special edition with the sound, with the soundtrack CD,
Yep.
I put it in the car and I was like listening to it. I'm like, to be honest, this is like a really boring soundtrack to listen through
Yeah.
without actually being in the world playing the game. But in the game, it's like phenomenal, just how it does it.
I don't find it too bad if I'm just like, I need a break and I need to lay back.
Yep.
And I'll sit there and I'll just listen to it. It has like a nice calming somber tone in some of the tracks that I absolutely love, and that has some nice little themes like the Talus theme to throw it up, or
Yep.
the High Notes theme. Talus theme is one of my favourite Zelda boss themes because it's remixed so easily into some really cool stuff.
Yeah. Like we've played on the show, a remix for that. Yeah.
Yep,
it was
like
awesome.
Chime's Talus remix was the one we played.
I had that cranking in the car. Like, oh my god, it's
So good.
Because as someone who went to go pick up Skyward Sword the day it came out, and you get the soundtrack with that game as well, and Dan and I put it into the car. We're actually cranking it like on the way home. This is like the first orchestrated, huge, impressive Zelda theme song.
Yep.
And then put this one in. It's like literally just like crickets chirping. Like literally crickets chirping. I'm like maybe it's not what I want to listen to outside the game, but it does exactly what it needs to do inside the game.
Oh, it does. And there's so many hidden Easter eggs in that music.
Yeah, like it's reversed and all that. Yeah,
Like in the reversal or the speed up of the music, it's got old Zelda themes hidden in there, and just like I don't know, it's an absolutely awesome soundtrack for something that you just want to chill and listen to.
that music in the trailer at the Switch sort of
I love that
reveal
music
event.
so much.
Is that in the game?
I do not think it is in the game.
Because that music in that trailer made me feel things I've never felt before.
I know.
I've never been so excited
It stirred emotions.
it's like I was sort of crying and smiling. I don't know what I was feeling.
I think
It was crazy.
I think a sense of just like, oh my god, we finally have a new Zelda that's probably not going to be shit.
Skyward Sword wasn't shit.
Oh, I can't bring myself to play it again. I have my occasional times where I'm just like, hey, I should play through Skyward Sword again. Then I remember all the bad times.
Don't get me wrong. If a remake comes out, but no, I'm good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't get me wrong, but
It
wasn't shit.
No, I had my... well, okay. My definition of a shit game is something that I don't want to go back and play again.
Okay.
Even if I finish it and whatever, if I feel like I never want to play it again, that to me is like, well, obviously I didn't enjoy it. So that to me is...
Had awesome music, had an awesome story.
Had an awesome music, had great backlore story.
You know what the best thing about that game was?
What?
Swimming, collecting notes, and having to shake the Wiimote to do a dash, which you have to do to beat the time in order to progress in the story. But when you shake the Wiimote, it obviously makes the character go in a different direction. See, I get the whole idea of the frigging game being about controlling the sword, but why does the thing, like, you're holding the sword, why does it become the character when you go into fucking water? Like, who thought that was a good idea?
Here we go, here comes the salt.
Like, I was fuming at that bit. I kept on failing, just collecting these music notes, because you got to shake it to go faster. Like, What?
See, it's these little things you think of that come back from Skyward Sword that make you go, well,
Then like just as like you beat a boss and he's falling over and dying and you're just thinking, oh god, the next bit's a trial. The next bit's a fucking trial. I do not want to do a trial again. There's like 2 desert areas.
Yep.
Like, I'm not saying the game shit, but you know. But oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, when you like the thing is Skyward Sword has an amazing soundtrack. You know, it has again great back lore that relates to a lot of the Zelda
and that's
series.
what pulled us through.
That is what pulled us through.
A lot of people who didn't really give a shit, that wasn't enough, and they just never finished it.
If you removed that back lore and that really nice soundtrack, you wouldn't have a lot left. Not to stick around and keep playing. Makes you think, doesn't it? How much of a difference that a good soundtrack makes.
Absolutely.
It does. It really does.
Especially in that CD, it was the 25th anniversary of Zelda, so they're basically reorchestrating everything.
Yeah. Yep. And then it was, yeah.
Actually, if you're into Nintendo music, for a lot of Nintendo franchises, there's sites called like Pokemon Reorchestrated or Zelda Reorchestrated, and they do like heaps of albums. Like to do like every game gets its own album.
Yep.
So if you're interested in like all that stuff, go and give them a look.
Yeah, absolutely.
I used to listen to that type of stuff all the time. Reorchestrated old music.
Yeah, I listen to them on occasion as well. Mainly because you introduced me to them, and I was like, this is cool.
Mm.
Yeah, I like orchestrated music. It's good stuff.
You can fill up your whole iPhone with that stuff.
Absolutely.
Actually, I wonder if they got Spotify these days. I have to look into it. Anyway. All right, so I'm gonna do a non-Nintendo game.
Well,
whoa, hey.
It kind of is.
No, I'm skipping down here.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, into the end.
Yes. I'm going to talk about Gravity Rush 2 because this is a game. It's a PlayStation game. I know, just bad Drew, right? Gravity Rush 1 on the PS Vita was like one of my favorite games, and that's what brought me into like the PlayStation ecosystem, if you want to call it that.
Yep.
And Gravity Rush 2 was basically the sequel I always wanted. You know, on the PS4, a lot better, a lot prettier, etc. And these games have a really unique soundtrack. It's like a sort of upbeat jazz vibe, which a lot of games, they don't really go for the jazzy vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
I really just wanted to talk about it.
I just really wanted to talk about it. I just really wanted to put it in here, man.
You skipped over another Nintendo option to go for the Gravity Rush.
I did. That was a Capcom one, but...
Well, I mean, yeah, Capcom, but it's still on a Nintendo console. That's why I was like, no, that's still on a Nintendo console.
Yeah.
But, anyway. Well, hey. The problem with me is I can't say much about Gravity Rush. We started actually playing Gravity Rush for our channel,
that's
our
right.
YouTube channel a while ago. Unfortunately, that footage never got uploaded.
Didn't it?
No, it didn't.
Oh, damn.
Unfortunately, I played a good hour of it. I enjoyed Gravity Rush, but unfortunately, at the time of speaking, my PlayStation is probably no good to me right now. Yeah, you can pat your PlayStation all you want, buddy. Mine's betrayed me. Anyway,
Just gotta show us some love, son.
well, you went and bought a new one.
Yeah.
How's that showing yours love?
I still use it. The Netflix box out there.
Netflix box. That's a lot of love. Anyway,
No, I love this game because it oozes style.
well, it does.
From its like graphical presentation to its soundtrack to its story to its characters.
Yeah, it does.
And
Absolutely.
like I haven't really heard like an upbeat jazz thing. So.
Yeah, you don't hear a lot of people talking about Gravity Rush either for the, the title it is. So I suppose if you want to give it recognition, I'm not going to knock you back on that one. Because I do see the charm in Gravity Rush, I really do.
I'm never going to see Gravity Rush 3, so
Aw.
I'm never going to say it. It sold poor as the sequel, so I'm going to say it.
Did it?
Yeah, it's been sold very well.
No, that sucks because I heard a lot of people that did play it loved it. Again, that's the problem with friggin' bungeeing off the Vita.
Yeah.
Vita.
Alright, moving to yours. I'll still do my other Nintendo one.
Okay.
Will you?
Okay.
Yeah, we've got time.
Okay, no problem.
Do this podcast for 3 hours if we wanted. Not that we
I
wanted.
can't believe we managed to talk about soundtracks for 55 minutes already.
Yeah, nice, man.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so my last one on my list. My last one on my list is... a game that not a lot of people would have played. Maybe a lot of people that own the Nintendo 64 and were lucky enough to snag a copy, but because you can't emulate this game or anything like that, because you wouldn't have seen it much around the place. It's not something you can pick up on an emulator and play out of. You actually have to own a copy of this game to get decency out of it. At least I think that's still the case. I'm not sure if that's changed in the last maybe 2 years, but it definitely wasn't a couple years ago that you could emulate this. Yoshi's Story.
Yeah.
Yoshi's Story was such a cheery little game. It had some really weird music in it, but it was great. Yeah. It was all centric around one tone, which is da 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 da. And it was all centric around that one tone. It was in there in every single track for the actual theme. I'm going to pick the sewer level theme, which is like this grungy little beaty type of lyrical soundtrack that gets stuck in my head. I will have to show you later to understand what you're talking about. I'm more than sure you've heard it before, but it's probably not one of the more noticeable tracks in the soundtrack, but it's the one that definitely gets stuck in my head. Yeah, because I love the level. The level was a lot of fun. Yoshi's Story is one of my favorite 64 games. I never owned it though, because there was nice little secrets in every level and stuff like that. It holds a real close candle to Yoshi's Island, and that's a really difficult thing to say. Yeah. Because for something that not a lot of people can play nowadays, it's just like, well, if it holds a candle to Yoshi's Island, considering how many sequels Yoshi's Island got, and like ports of Yoshi's Island there are, and this one hasn't got a single port, then what makes it so special? Well, I don't know. There was a lot of stuff you could discover in Yoshi's Story, like the chance to unlock the black Yoshi and the white Yoshi and stuff like that if you knew what you were doing, and just collecting a full border of fruit in every level, and it was nice. The bosses were good too, and just overall there was a lot of charm to Yoshi's Story, and one of it was the soundtrack.
Yeah, they went back to that sort of sounding soundtrack for Wii World, didn't they?
Sort of. Yeah. It's a really light, fluffy soundtrack. But it is all centralized along that one little tone.
Which is pretty cool.
It's in every single one, whether the tone, whether the sound, like the track is grungy, or whether it's light and fluffy, or whether it's like
light and fluffy.
Well, it's the best way to describe it. Yoshi's Story has a really good soundtrack. And if you didn't get the chance to play it, I hope you do one day. Anybody that's listening, to be honest, because it's definitely one of my favorite Yoshi games ever.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the one of the ones that captured my interest and love for Yoshi as a character. Had like the patchwork backgrounds and stuff like that. The nice stuff that you get from Woolly World. Yeah. But it was from an older time, so it has its own, its own sort of niche. That's kind of what Woolly World has become nowadays. It's basically the Yoshi's Story sequel.
Yeah, it's more of like a more realistic looking one. Yeah,
but I don't know. You can't really capture it. I feel it's not the 100% same thing. I treat Yoshi's Woolly World as its own thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll find the track with Drew, and he can play it behind this one, and you can listen to it. I don't know whether I'll pick the grungy theme or whether I'll pick something nice and light.
You'll hear what you hear.
You'll hear what you hear.
Alright, so we'll finish off with my last one, which is from the Mega Man series. Mega Man 2, to be particular. It's Dr. Wily's Castle. I'm sure anybody who would pick a Mega Man song would almost pick this song.
Oh yeah.
It's probably the most iconic. If you're a hardcore Mega Man fan, you might say something else.
Mega Man standing on top of a building with no helmet on.
Oh my god, yeah. That's another song where I've just listened to countless remixes.
Especially after the reveal trailer for Mega Man in Smash Bros.
Oh my god,
Yeah, it's probably the one thing that caught your eye there. You were just like, the music is so good.
Well, I think I got them before then, but...
No, yeah, but like... Shut up. I don't know, Mega Man soundtracks are always really good.
Yeah.
And a lot of things have taken influence from it too. You know, it's pretty much what was dubbed like a Metroidvania type deal. It's jump and shoot, whatever you want to call it.
Jump and shoot title.
But yeah, the level design was awesome. Like,
Just the soundtrack. It is like that perfect 8-bit feel.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a lot of its own like vibe to it in a way.
It's amazing what that he was able to do with the sound card of the NES. Really,
Yeah,
like how robust those songs are.
yeah, and a lot of them are catchy.
Yeah.
So catchy. They stick in your head.
Similar to Mario, where it was like he made one of the most iconic sounding like songs just out of that limited amount of memory.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. To think that like when Sega made Sonic games and stuff, they wasted like a massive chunk of the cartridge just having that Sega bit tone in it.
Yeah.
Sega.
Worth it.
Well, apparently, but you could have a soundtrack like that. I'm not saying that Sonic soundtracks are bad or anything, but
Sonic soundtracks are very good.
they are very good.
The one in Sonic Mania, the coming up in next Tuesday, sounds awesome.
Yep.
Have you heard any music from it?
Nope. I will eventually.
That could be on like this list if we done this like a couple of months down the track. That is so good.
Yeah, the other thing is when they'll pick up Sonic Mania.
It's cheap. It's only $26. I know that's not cheap, but
$26. It has a physical release.
yeah, apparently. I don't know how much the physical release is. Comes with a statue and stuff, so
Yeah, well that'll do it.
be a bit more.
I mean, if it's $26, I might buy it.
Yeah. I reckon I'll pick it up. So that's Tuesday this week, and there's lots of stuff coming out in the eShop, but
Yeah.
talk about that a bit next week, I think. All the eShop games coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything much more you're going to say on Mega Man, though?
No, not really.
Not really. I definitely need to play more Mega Man before I can make a complete judgment on it. The soundtrack 100%, but all that I've heard of the soundtrack is pretty good. I think I've only been about halfway through Mega Man 2. Because Mega Man's one of those things I like pick up, I get frustrated, I'll put down, then I forget to pick it back up again.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those games.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Much like how you could play I Want to Be the Guy 1,000 times straight, and the only thing you want to do by the time you've gotten like through the first screen of that level is to put your fist through the screen.
Shit.
I want to be the guy. That's just what it is, my friend.
Alright.
Yeah.
Got any plugs, Bryce?
Plugs.
All
All right.
Plug-a-roo?
So I guess you're not telling people ending the show here.
Well, that pretty much is. We haven't ended it yet. We're doing the plugs. Plug away, you bastard. Jesus.
Jesus. You can find me at Twitter handle at Bryce DeWitt. And I've started streaming more often on Twitch. My Elgato showed up. And I'd love to stream a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh, is that right, son?
Is that right, son?
You like to stream a bunch of stuff?
I like to stream a bunch of stuff.
Well, that's nice. What do you stream?
I've been playing Splatoon, I've been playing Zelda. I mean to go back to some titles on the Wii U that I really need to revisit. I'm just going to stream them if people want to.
What games are those,
come and
Bryce?
catch them. Stuff like Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Xenoblade Chronicles X, and
Yep.
yeah, some
That's
nice stuff there.
That is some nice stuff.
Just shut up.
You can find me at Twitter at iDrew.
Where are your butt plugs?
Pardon me, sir. You can at Twitter at iDrewby and Twitch at iDrewby. And I stream a bunch of stuff
Of
as well. I
I
like to stream a bunch of stuff.
Good.
As my friend Bryce DeWitt would say.
Good kick you.
I stream some Mario Kart and some Splatoon. And I'll shut up. All right.
You're an
All right,
arsehole.
thanks for listening this week, guys.
I hope you enjoyed the episode.
Yeah, I know it's a bit of a shamble.
A bit of a shamble. No, I think it was a pretty good episode, to be honest.
Yeah, all right. We'll listen back. We'll make that judgment. All right. All right, mate.
All right.
As always, we finish the episode with a segment called Nintendo Jukebox, where we put some cool Nintendo tunes in your ears. And since there's all soundtracks this week, I wanted to actually put like a proper song into your ears. Not a proper song, but you know, with lyrics and shit. You know what I'm saying, Bryce?
With lyrics and shit.
And shit. No, I don't want shit in your ears. Jesus. You already had us in your ears. I don't put any more shit in your ears. Anyway, it's by DA Games. Or would you call it DAG Games or DA Games?
No, DA. It's capitalised.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's right. I don't want to insult the man. You know, he's over at YouTube and he's done a song for Breath of the Wild, and I can't find it. Shit, where is it, Bryce?
I don't know. You tell me.
I thought it would be right here, but it's not. Anyway, it's a song about the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and it's really cool. It's like a metal music. And the link for this video will be in the description for this podcast, so please go over, give him a view, give him a like, give him all that stuff. He does some entertaining Let's Plays where he goes over the top and crazy, if you're into that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does other music videos for other games. He's quite a talented musician, so go and have a look.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll have to check him out.
You will. Bryce, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me for the 12th time.
That's all right, mate. As we're old enough to drink now, let's go and have a vodka after this. Vodka and a bit of... Put some cordial in it.
Oh, God, yes. Classy drinking.
What do you reckon? Just like 3/4...
3/4 vodka, 1 cordial.
Yep.
Jesus. That's a strong drink, but I'll take it.
That is. Let's do it. All right. See you next week, guys.
See you guys.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Kind of day, 100 years you lay. A calamity has since drowned the land with a legend from the dark. This myth has been foretold, and now heroes shall unfold. Take the test of strength because I will need your everlasting sword to slay the beast within as you sing. You took the breath right out of my heart. You take my home and tear it all apart. Cause we are free, taking over our destiny. I'm lost in the dark, wishing I could rewind to the start. I can feel you here, part of me. Let's take control of our destiny. The corners of this land, hell carved dividing man. These beasts need to be tamed. You have the key, now carve your name. In the forest far away, your weapon lays and waits. She calls to you, but the guardians have sounded the alarm. To slay the beast within, as you say. You took the breath right out of my heart. You take my home and tear it all apart. Now we fight back, cause we are free, taking over our destiny. I'm lost in the dark, wishing I could rewind to the start. I can feel you here, part of me. In the heat of the war we are broken. For the sake of the kingdom you're chosen.
I could bring to the star, the calm before the storm will
disappear. You took the breath